Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to COD Zombies HQ. We've finally figured out how to activate the alternate storyline for Richtofen while you're doing the main Easter egg in Blood of the Dead. This was something we knew was in the game for a while now, but couldn't figure out exactly how to activate it and didn't get the full scope of its importance. The lockdown method to get this to activate was discovered by YouTuber Retroh USA. And so far, I've only seen it done solo, but that's not to say it won't be active for co-op as well. First thing you need to do is back out and then head back into a zombies lobby in Blood of the Dead over and over again until you are given the character Richtofen. Once you're playing as Richtofen, you're good to go. The game starts round 1, you're in the lab, you want to wait until Richtofen's first quote finishes, it'll take probably like 20 seconds around that. Then you want to go up to Stulinger's terminal. This is the far left pod in the lab. Go up to his heartbeat monitor and press your interact button. If you did this correctly, Richtofen should say this quote.
You have all remained safe for so long, my little popsicles. Perhaps you could be of use. Nein, I much prefer you all this way.
After Richtofen says this quote, make sure you don't go up to any of the other terminals and press interact. Press that interact button on Stulinger, get the quote, and continue on with your game. From here on out, Richtofen's alternate dialogue scenes with Stulinger will be active as long as you're doing steps for the main Easter egg. You know you've done it correctly when the first dialogue for Stu activates. It activates right after you unlock the Wardens Secret Room within his house, you grab the orb, and start heading back from spawn. When you do that, this quote should start playing.
12,042 bottles of beer on the wall. 12,042 bottles of beer. You take one down, you pass it around. 12,041 bottles of beer on the wall.
Now, I'm not going to play the full quote right now, we're going to break it down later in this video. I've tested this strategy on both the PS4 and the gameplay you just saw and are seeing here is on the PC, so this should be multi-platform. I'm pretty sure the method to do it will be the same on Xbox as well. Now, if you haven't heard of this alternate Easter egg dialogue between Stu and Richtofen before, it is very important to understand the story and the motivations behind Blood of the Dead. You don't get a full picture of Richtofen's mindset going into the map and sacrificing himself unless you really start hearing and analyzing the dialogue between him and Stulinger. Now, as to why Stulinger begins speaking to us, Richtofen explains that he believes that the lighthouse is channeling some kind of energy within the ether. This has resulted in a little bit of role reversal. Whereas in Black Ops 2, Richtofen was the voice inside Stulinger's head. Here in Black Ops 4, Blood of the Dead, Stulinger is now in Richtofen's head. And as you might have been able to tell from the quotes, Stulinger is, well, quite excited about this. In fact, as the Easter egg goes on, we start to see Stulinger really relish in his ability to talk to Richtofen. He's been in cryo for so long, he's forgotten what it feels like to talk to somebody. Talking to Richtofen, Stulinger says, "Whose fault is that anyway? You said you stuck me in this tube to keep me safe. But now, I'm thinking you did it just to shut me up." And we start to see more of Stulinger's insecurity and frankly fear of being isolated inside cryo forever when he's talking to Richtofen just before the ending boss fight of the main Easter egg. He says, "Jumpin' freaking Jeremiah, you're alive. Man, do you have any idea how scary it is thinking you're gonna be stuck in a box with your own thoughts forever?" And I love Richtofen's reply, "Yes, Samuel, I'm afraid I do." Some very telling foreshadowing about what is about to happen to him. And what's even more interesting about this is that Stulinger seems to know what's about to happen. When he says, "What about my fate? All day I've been helping you out, but no. you're gonna defrost that. Obviously referring to Great Battle Richtofen. Richtofen replies, Samuel, if we succeed, you'll be safe. Please trust me and keep quiet. Samuel's fears of being stuck in the tube with no one to talk to gets realized when Richtofen steps into the machine. We can hear Stulinger scream and Richtofen saying goodbye to him forever.
Samuel.
From his conversation with Stulinger, we can understand that Richtofen knew what was about to happen, that he knew what he must do not only for the sake of the rest of Primus, but also for the Victus crew as well. It very well could be that Stulinger's voice inside of Richtofen's head did a number on reminding him and kind of convincing him that what he was about to do to himself was the right path. That there was more than just his own life at stake here, and that Stulinger talking to him inside his head is the actual embodied realization of that fact. Beyond that, we also get a scary look into Stulinger himself, where he reveals his seemingly greatest fear, and that being alone, totally and utterly isolated, with no one to talk to forever. Stulinger was so afraid to let Richtofen go because he thinks this might be the last conversation he ever has with somebody, even though it's being conducted not in person but through two consciences through the ether. In a way, Stulinger and Richtofen are very much the same. They had the same ultimate motivation throughout the history of the Primus storyline and really throughout the history of COD Zombies, and that is the unwillingness to face death and its consequences. While Stulinger isn't technically dead, he's still in the cryo chamber. He might as well be from his own perspective, like he says, locked inside a dark tube with no one to talk to. The conversation between them paints a very sad but very human tale, and it's one where Jason Blundell and Craig Houston did a great job in a very small amount of dialogue in kind of wrapping up the emotions and the story of Blood of the Dead. You haven't really experienced the Blood of the Dead Easter egg until you've run through it with this dialogue on. Now that we know for sure how to activate it, hopefully everyone can experience it for themselves and derive whatever conclusions you want from it. And that's still not to say that there isn't more dialogue within Blood of the Dead between Stulinger and Richtofen still to find. The main quotes and dialogue between them come during the main steps of the Easter egg within Blood. As far as I'm aware, other side Easter eggs, for example like the shield upgrade, or getting the free Blundergat, the golden spork, the free monkey bomb Easter egg, all of these things I think haven't been tried with the Stulinger quotes and dialogue active, and that there may be a way that we just haven't figured out yet to actually get more dialogue to trigger so we can get a better, fuller picture of the relationship between Stulinger and Richtofen. Furthermore, as far as we can tell, none of the other 4 Primus characters can activate a corresponding Easter egg like Richtofen can. It seems like it would have been very, very cool if each of the Primus characters would have been linked up with the consciousness of one of the Victus crew, where instead of just the relationship between Stulinger and Richtofen, we would get to hear the thoughts of the other Victus characters of being locked in cryo. But hey, here's hoping that Blood of the Dead isn't the end for our Victus crew, that we will see them later. Like Richtofen says when talking to Stulinger for the second last time, if he is successful, the Victus crew will be safe. This seems to confirm what everyone was thinking, that the Victus crew isn't dead at the end of the Blood of the Dead cutscene, and that we will probably be seeing them again in the future. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A big thank you to all my current subscribers that checked out this video. Huge shout out to those that have clicked the bell icon and turned on notifications. You guys are freaking awesome. But I want to thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you with another Zombies video tomorrow. Peace out.